hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget the notifications. Those are important. Thank you. Hello everyone, it's the 50-year-old 420 gamer, and today's video is Frostnite 2020, 3 different builds I've tested in Frostnite. So without further ado, here is the first one, second floor burner puncher build. Unfortunately, this didn't work too well. The first two builds I'm going to show you, unfortunately they didn't work too well because the burner is on the ground. So they always aggro the burner. They won't go up a flight of stairs or anything like that because the burner's actually on the ground. So unfortunately this didn't work. I was hoping that when I blocked everything off, they would just go up the staircases to actually get to the objective, which is just one panel down and drop in. But unfortunately they did not do that. They just maintained the same straight down to the objective, which is on the first floor. So unfortunately this didn't work too well. But the trap tunnels actually were quite effective. I was surprised. So of course we all know the tires are very much like the wood floor spikes. They slow them down drastically. So, and then here in the corner I was trying to make like a, instead of block off, I was trying to make it so the smashers could rush, but they really wouldn't be able to get anywhere because of the tar pits. So it seemed to work. Like I said, this worked well. The punchers punched them over into the center, and then here, if you use your freeze trap there and then you put a wood floor spike on the staircase, both will activate. So the freeze trap will go off, freezing them, while the wood floor spike slows them down by 30%. And again, the trap tunnels seemed to work pretty well. It just, they didn't go up the staircase. They went around the staircase and went right to the objective since it is on the first floor. So unfortunately, this was a no-go. This was a failure. But I learned some things out of it. So again, the second floor puncher. And then as a constructor, I was trying to make sure that the center build had nothing attached to it. So this was the way I got to my wrench so I could get my recycling material. If you put one of those launch pads, it basically launches you right to the objective. So as a constructor, you could get to your wrench and get your recycling material. And then you could put them on all four builds, so that way at any point on the map you could get up and get to your stuff. Now this is a complete failure. I was hoping it was going to work. Those of you who have run the Evacuate the Shelter jail build, you know this build. I elaborated on it and I was hoping, oh great, they'll just go in the box and then for the rest of the wave nothing will spawn. Well, unfortunately, it was a complete failure. They didn't even remotely go to the box. So, again, the objective is on the ground. The burner is on the ground. So they are constantly going to the ground. But I made it so that way each level, if smashers, or not smashers, but husks and all got there, that it would take care of them. This is where the actual burner is. So up here is left open. But unfortunately, like I said, this didn't work. I was hoping it would, but unfortunately it did not. Basically what happened was they just walked around it like the other one. So, and again, I left the corners open, didn't do the block off, hoping that would, take care of the smashers. But once we tested the actual build, I think it was wave 3, by the time we got this built, we did not have any traps on it. We just wanted to see, would they actually go into the box and walk up that way? And unfortunately, they did not. They basically just came right in, ignored the stairs, and walked right over to the objective. So unfortunately, this was a complete failure because of the fact that it doesn't function like in the Evacuate the Shelter. So, unfortunately, this was a no-go. Even though it looks really cool, unfortunately, it did not function. Now, the piece of resistance. This is the build that you guys saw in my last video, which I've basically elaborated on here in my Plankerton. This is what, if I could have the right crew with me, this is what I'd like to have built. So that way there would be no lobber shield. You basically just have trap tunnels coming in, slow them down. You have your air traps on the outside, so if propaners throw to try and blow stuff up, the air traps resolve that. You got your sound walls so that way they basically are going to start dancing. You got your ceiling drop traps, your tires, so that you can slow them down on the outside. And basically it's just a recycler on the front, so that way you can just slow them down before they go in, and then once they're in, they get recycled back out and come back in. And then I tried to make it constructor friendly, so that way the constructor could get up onto the roof any way they liked without having to, kind of build things that prevent that. So I tried to leave this area open. And as you know, those traps, they go 3 tiles, so that should get anything that's coming through the corner. And then all of this was done so that the smashers really wouldn't smash anything per se. So, and like I said, this would be great for two constructors and 2 outlanders. 1 mega base Kyle, 1 base Kyle, and 2 outlanders, preferably archaeologists, because both Junior and I tested her, and unfortunately Clip is not the hero for Frostnite. It would actually go back to winner, archaeologist, the best puncher in the game, the best material. So Mega Base Kyle could move his base around and put it on the center of each trap area, so that way he could strengthen it, while Base Kyle was keeping the base itself, solid for the smashers that would be coming to it. And then the constructors could easily, or Base Kyle could easily get up here to actually get his metal and all, so that way there's nothing built on the objectives, so they do not aggro. And then down here it's just broadsides, freeze traps, so that whatever gets flung up here basically gets killed instantaneously. So it works really well. You have to use the right traps. You have to use healing on the inside of the wall. Makes the wall stronger on the outside of the wall. And then when Base Kyle's wrench is on there, they're not busting through there. Because what I found through testing, it's actually the lobber lady heads that are doing the most damage. When the flinger throws the husk doesn't actually do a lot of damage when it first hits. It does a bit of damage, but when it sits there and beats on the walls, that's when it's doing the most damage. Well, what I found was the broadsides basically almost went off instantaneously, and whatever was there got frozen almost afterwards, and then just basically got killed by the broadsides. So it's a very effective, minimal, base build. And then, of course, the bounce pads enable the constructor to get up here and make sure he can do any repairs or anything like that. Put new traps on if they've worn out. So that's why you need the 2 bounce pads below, because one will take you to the top where Base Kyle can get to his actual wrench, and then the other is for the second floor, shall we say. And what I found was it seems to launch the ninja further when you just walk across it, and it puts you here. But as the constructor, you kind of miss that each time. So you almost have to do like I did the first time, where you kind of have to jump once and land on the very corner of that bounce pad so that it sends you further away. And then I figured the defenders would be good up here because they would be away from any of the mouth breathers. And then the defender could actually do while the smasher's in here, the defender could help actually officially help the team, because they would not be getting pummeled and you wouldn't hear constantly, "Oh, I'm down, this is bad," and everything else that we hate to hear about our defenders. Please fix that, Epic. So basically, if you had the right crew, this would be my dream build. Literally, because I think this would work super effectively and you wouldn't have to use a lobber shield. I hate building that giant lobber shield. I find it a pain in the butt, and my logic is we have all the traps to do that, so why not? Hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget the notifications. Those are important. Thank you.